You know, all across the country, there are thousands and thousands of people with a deep, genuine passion for the night sky. We're talking about amateur astronomers, and they represent this huge kind of untapped resource of knowledge. But what happens when they turn their telescopes away from deep space and point them towards the public? Well, let's find out. And this right here is really the heart of it all. That single moment of pure awe, that gasp when someone sees the rings of Saturn or Jupiter's moons with their own eyes. It's a powerful shared experience that can stick with a person forever. And it's the real reason why sharing astronomy is just so important. And the potential for these moments is just massive. Organizations like the Federation of Astronomical Societies, they represent this vast community of experts. And look, these aren't just casual hobbyists. Many of them have incredible skills. Practical stargazing, astrophotography that even some research scientists might not have. But so much of this expertise, it just stays within their own circles.
So that brings up a really big question, right? If the experience is so magical and the expertise is so widespread, why isn't this happening on every street corner? Why does so much of this passion stay hidden away?
Well, a lot of the reasons start at a very human level, with fears that are probably pretty familiar to a lot of us, right? It's that anxiety about public speaking, that worry that someone's going to ask you a question you just can't answer, or simply not having the time or the money or the training to even get started. These are the personal hurdles that can stop a passion dead in its tracks. And on top of all those individual fears, you've got these bigger logistical hurdles at the group level. For astronomy societies, it can be a real struggle to find volunteers and places to meet, to navigate things like insurance, and of course, to answer that eternal question for any stargazer: what's the backup plan if it's cloudy? But for those who do push past all these barriers, something really incredible happens. The rewards aren't just for the audience. Turns out, sharing the stars fundamentally changes the person who's doing the sharing. See, this completely reframes outreach. It's not just a one-way street. It becomes a journey of personal growth. It's a way to challenge yourself, to learn totally new skills. It's deeply fulfilling because you're giving back and inspiring people. And by connecting with others, you build new relationships, which is just fantastic for your own well-being. It's basically a great excuse to do more of the hobby you already love.
And this isn't just about one person's development either. Those individual actions create this powerful ripple effect, one that flows outward from a single telescope and strengthens the entire community.
I mean, for the local astronomy clubs, public outreach is their absolute lifeblood. It's how they get new members, how they build partnerships with local libraries or parks, and how they get recognized. By reaching new people, they don't just improve their own diversity, they help ensure a sustainable future for the entire amateur astronomy community. And this might be one of the most important ripples of all. That one wow moment at the eyepiece, that can be the spark. The exact spark that ignites a kid's lifelong interest in science, technology, engineering, and math. It could set them on a path to become a future innovator.
You know, there's actually a formal concept for this. It's called science capital, and you can think of it like all the science-related experiences a person gathers over their life. So every single time an amateur astronomer shares their telescope, they're basically making a deposit into the public science capital. They're making science feel more relevant and accessible for absolutely everyone.
And all of this builds a more informed society. I mean, when people have direct positive experiences with science, it gives them the tools to think critically about misinformation, everything from the flat earth theory to moon landing conspiracies. It also starts really important conversations about things like light pollution and the future of space exploration.
So, okay, we've seen how outreach benefits the individual, the society, and public education. But the power of astronomy goes even further. It builds connections in ways you might never, ever expect.
So let me ask you a pretty provocative question. Can looking up at the stars really help us break down some of the toughest barriers we face down here on Earth?
And the answer, incredibly, is yes. Astronomy is being used as this unique tool for connection in some really profound ways. Just think about this. There are prison projects using the stars to help inmates reconnect with their families. There are tactile galaxies being created for the visually impaired. It's giving young people from difficult backgrounds a moment of pure wonder. And it's acting as this powerful icebreaker that can literally improve health and well-being. And that's because, at the end of the day, astronomy gives us a common ground. It reminds us of a really simple, unifying truth that just cuts through everything else. No matter who we are or where we're from, we are all on this one tiny planet, looking up at the very same sky. And sharing that perspective, well, that might just be one of the most powerful connections we can ever make.